Ash Wednesday marks the beginning of Lent in Western Christianity and serves as a symbolic threshold into a 40-day period of fasting, reflection, and spiritual discipline leading up to Easter. The practice is rooted not in a single biblical event, but in a long process of religious, cultural, and ritual development that unfolded over several centuries. The 40 days of Lent are traditionally associated with the story of Jesus spending 40 days and nights in the desert, fasting and being tempted, as described in the Gospels. This number, however, already carried strong symbolic meaning long before Christianity. In the Hebrew Bible, 40 appears repeatedly as a period of trial, transformation, or preparation. Moses spent 40 days on Mount Sinai. The Israelites wandered for 40 years in the desert, and prophets often fasted for 40 days before decisive moments. These precedents shaped early Christian interpretations, but did not directly establish Ash Wednesday itself. Ash Wednesday emerged later, between the 4th and 7th centuries, as the Church formalized the structure of Lent. Ashes were used as a public sign of repentance, drawing on ancient Jewish traditions in which people covered themselves with ashes to express mourning, humility, or remorse. Over time, this gesture became ritualized. Ashes, usually made from burned palm branches from the previous year, are placed on the forehead with words reminding believers of human mortality and the need for inner transformation. Judaism does not have Ash Wednesday or Lent. Although Jesus was Jewish, Christianity developed its own liturgical calendar after separating from Jewish religious practice. Jewish traditions focus instead on fasting days such as Yom Kippur and Tisha B'Av, which emphasize repentance, remembrance, and ethical renewal, but are not tied to the Christian narrative of Easter. Comparable practices exist in other cultures and religions. In Islam, Ramadan is a month-long period of fasting, self-restraint, and spiritual reflection that follows a lunar calendar and therefore shifts through the seasons. In Hinduism and Buddhism, fasting and ascetic practices are often connected to purification, discipline, or preparation for festivals or enlightenment. Even in ancient pre-Christian societies, periods of abstinence or ritual cleansing frequently marked seasonal transitions, agricultural cycles, or rites of renewal. Ash Wednesday itself does not have a fixed calendar date. Its timing depends on the date of Easter, which is calculated based on the first full moon after the spring equinox. As a result, Ash Wednesday usually falls between early February and early March. While the exact dates differ, many cultures place comparable rituals of restraint or renewal in late winter or early spring, a time historically associated with scarcity, transition, and the anticipation of rebirth. In this broader perspective, Ash Wednesday can be understood not only as a Christian ritual, but also as part of a wider human pattern. The marking of time through symbolic acts of reflection, humility, and preparation. Rather than originating solely from the story of Jesus in the desert, it represents a convergence of biblical symbolism, Jewish ritual language, early Christian theology, and older cross-cultural traditions of fasting and renewal.